having a life scholarship and being able to afford to go to college made me feel inspired to go.
When I got a life scholarship, it was such a relief.
I knew that I wanted to have an impact. Having a life scholarship through the SC Education Lottery was huge. It gave me the opportunity to make that impact right here at home.
The South Carolina Education Lottery. A better you, a better us, a better South Carolina. Visit sceducationlottery.com/betteryou.
It's really easy to feel overwhelmed trying to keep up with everything going on these days.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's why we're here. We take one thing and really try to understand it.
Yeah.
And today we're looking at these hands-off protests, particularly around April 5th, 2025.
You sent over a really interesting set of search terms.
Right. I thought they were pretty fascinating.
Yeah, and the biggest thing that stood out was how often hands-off appeared.
Yeah, that was huge.
Along with different dates and locations. And this suggests there may have been a series of events.
Yeah.
Maybe across different areas that people were trying to understand and follow.
Absolutely.
So we're going to cut through the noise and figure out what these searches tell us.
Sounds good. So hands-off seems to be the big thing here, right? It's in almost every search.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you think we can learn just from that phrase being repeated so often?
It's like, you know how when there's a big protest, there's usually a simple slogan, like Black Lives Matter or Make America Great Again.
Yeah.
Well, hands off seems to be it here.
Oh, so it's like the unifying idea.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing is that hands off can mean a lot of things.
It's true.
Like it could be about personal freedom.
Yeah.
Or the government staying out of things. It's kind of vague, but that's maybe why it worked.
So a lot of different groups could all rally behind it.
Exactly. Like they all wanted something.
Yeah.
But they wanted the government or whoever to keep their hands off.
Right. And then there's this one date, April 5th, that pops up constantly.
Right. April 5th.
Like protest April 5 and April 5th protest and even D.C. protest April 5.
Yeah. Looks like something big was planned for that day.
What are some possible explanations for everyone focusing on that one date?
Well, it could have been a big national day of protest.
Okay.
Like everyone decided that was the day to come together.
Right.
Or maybe there was a specific event planned in D.C. that everyone was going to go to. Or maybe it was the anniversary of something important.
Oh, so maybe something happened on April 5th in the
Yeah.
previous year and
Right.
they were commemorating it?
Yeah, maybe.
Got it.
We don't know for sure from these searches.
Speaking of D.C., it looks like that was a pretty important location.
Oh, definitely. There are tons of searches for D.C. protest and hands-off D.C.
Right.
I mean, D.C. is the center of power in the U.S., so it makes sense that people would go there to protest.
Yeah.
But we also see searches for near me, Boston protest, Chicago protest.
Oh, interesting.
So it wasn't just D.C.
Yeah, it looks
Hey, people were interested in protests closer to home, too.
Right, and even a specific zip code, 50501.
So that's hyperlocal.
Yeah, very localized.
Yeah.
So we also see Trump protests and anti-Trump protests.
Oh, yeah. That's interesting.
So at least some of these hands-off protests had something to do with him.
Definitely. Seems like at least some people were protesting against him, or maybe some of his policies.
Right. But the searches don't really tell us exactly what they were upset about.
And it just shows us that he was a factor
Right.
in all of this.
That's a really good point. It just shows us kind of the general sentiment and not the specifics. But then there's hands-off 2025 and hands-off rally, which seems to suggest this was bigger than just a few isolated events.
Right. Hands off 2025 makes it sound like it was a whole movement.
Yeah.
And rally implies an organized gathering.
Yeah.
So maybe something was going on all year.
Makes sense.
Not just on April 5th.
And then there's the term indivisible.
Right.
And that's actually a specific political group.
Yeah. Indivisible. They're known for being very active.
Yeah. Very grassroots.
Yeah. And locally focused.
What do you think their involvement tells us about these protests?
Well, indivisible usually pops up when there's something specific they want to stop.
Okay.
Like a law or a policy they think is bad.
Right.
So maybe they were part of these hands-off protests because they saw it as a way to push back against something.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
It is. And you know, it's interesting that people were specifically searching what is hands-off protest and what is the hands-off protest about?
Yeah, what do you make of that?
Like maybe people saw the slogan but didn't really understand what it was about.
That makes sense.
Right. Like it makes sense.
It's vague.
Yeah. So they needed more information.
Right.
We also see protest signs and specifically anti-Trump protest signs, which gives us a little visual, right?
Oh, yeah. Signs are so important at protests.
Yeah.
It's how they get their message across.
Exactly. And anti-Trump protest signs just reinforces that political angle we talked about.
Yeah, it shows how people were expressing those feelings
Right.
in a visual way.
Exactly.
Making them really visible.
Right. And lastly, we see the search term Axios.
Right, Axios.
Which suggests this news outlet was probably covering these protests.
Yeah, Axios is a pretty big deal. So if they were writing about it,
Yeah.
then these protests must have been pretty significant.
Right.
They wouldn't write about just anything.
Exactly. They have to choose what to cover.
Yeah.
And so to wrap all of this up,
Yeah.
these searches paint a picture of these widespread hands-off protests,
Yeah.
especially around April 5th, 2025, with a lot happening in D.C.
Right.
And some of them were definitely connected to opposition to Trump,
Definitely.
and maybe even involved that indivisible group.
Could be.
But the specific issues behind all of this are still kind of a mystery.
Exactly.
That we have some of the pieces,
Yeah.
but not the whole puzzle.
We've got the when and the where.
Yeah.
And some of the who.
Right.
But the why is still unclear.
Exactly. So that's the question we leave you with.
Yeah.
What could have caused so many different people in so many different places to rally around this hands-off message?
It's a good question.
What would you look into to try to figure out the real story?
I'd want to look at what was happening politically back then.
Oh, yeah, good point.
What were the big debates? What laws were being proposed?
Right.
I bet that would give us some clues.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, this was a really interesting deep dive.
Yeah, definitely. I think we uncovered a lot.
Yeah, me too.
Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
We'll see you next time for another deep dive.
Sounds good.
Bye.
Today is your lucky day. Today is the day that our $3 website works for you, paying you directly to your PayPal daily. Imagine $3 ongoing continuous payments to your PayPal account. Imagine falling asleep and waking up to $300 in your PayPal account. How would this make you feel? How could this help you? What bills could you pay? What kind of fun could you have? What does that retirement look like now? All for a one-time payment of $3. This website is DFY done for you, fully built and completely hosted, and never stops collecting payments for you. You have spent $3 on coffee on a regular, but that coffee won't help you create multiple streams of income. Click the link below.
Having a life scholarship and being able to afford to go to college made me feel inspired to go.
When I got a life scholarship, it was such a relief.
I knew that I wanted to have an impact. Having a life scholarship through the SC Education Lottery was huge. It gave me the opportunity to make that impact right here at home.
The South Carolina Education Lottery. A better you, a better us, a better South Carolina. Visit sceducationlottery.com/betteryou.